everyone, welcome to the channel NIE. We are delighted to have each and every one of you with us today for this exciting session. We, the Department of Mathematics of National Institute of Education, are ready to discuss some revision problems which will be helpful for your mathematics paper for the upcoming GCE ordinary level examination. We hope that today's session will inspire you, deepen your appreciation for the beauty of mathematics, and ignite a lifelong love for this fascinating subject. First of all, I would like to say some important facts to be followed when you sit for any examination. First, keep your mind calm and concentrate only on the paper. And also, you are given only a limited time. So, when you answer the questions, managing time and maintaining speed is very important. Further, accuracy of the answers, correct steps and cleanliness are very important when answering problems in an examination. Awareness of marking scheme is also very helpful to you to score high marks. So, by keeping these things in your mind, I would like to move on to the paper. Before start discussing the questions, I think it's better to discuss about the structure of the paper. So, we'll see how the mathematics paper is designed. First, as you all know, there are two papers for mathematics. Mathematics 1 and Mathematics 2. In Mathematics 1, you have two parts, Part A and Part B. In Mathematics 2 also you have two parts, Part A and Part B. For the Mathematics 1 paper, you are given 2 hours, and for the Mathematics 2 paper, you are given 3 hours. Altogether, you have 3 hours for the mathematics paper. Altogether, you have 5 hours to the mathematics paper. So, we will see how can you score marks for these two papers. Right. And also, I would say that these two papers are designed or prepared only from grade 10 and 11 syllabi. Okay. Then, for the paper 1, you have Part A and Part B, isn't it? So, in Part A, you have 25 short questions and total of 50 marks can be obtained. And in Part B, you have 5 structured questions and you can score 50 marks for that Part B also. Then total of 100 marks can be obtained for the paper 1. Then in paper 2, you have again Part A and Part B. In Part A, you have to answer 5 questions out of 6, and in Part B also you have to answer 5 questions out of 6. Then each part you can score 50 marks, and altogether for the whole paper you will get 100 marks. Let's move on to Part A of the paper 1. Here you have to answer all the questions in the given paper itself. So, let's discuss few questions in Part A. First one, you are given that find the increased tax amount for a service worth 1200 rupees when the value added tax percentage is increased from 12% to 15%. So, what is the increment of the tax? It's 3%. So, you have to calculate 3% of 1200. So, easily you will get the answer as 36 rupees. 36 rupees. For this answer, you will get 2 marks. If you couldn't obtain the last answer, even if you have written these steps, you can score 1 mark. So, always try to write steps to obtain the last answer. Right. Second question, it's under the theme measurements. A sector of radius 14 centimeters is shown in the figure. Find the area of the sector. It's a quarter of a circle, isn't it? So, you can easily find the area of this. It's 1/4 of the area of a circle. Area of a circle is 5r squared. So, you have to take 1/4 of that. Right. That is how you are given this by substituting the value of r. So, you will get the answer as 154 square centimeters. I think all of you have got this answer, right? If so, you get 2 marks. Otherwise, you will get 1 mark even for this expression. Check whether you have written that also. Okay. Right. Shall we move on to the third question? Yes, of course. Here you are asked to factorize the given quadratic expression 5x to the power 2 minus 8x minus 4. You can easily factorize this by breaking this into 4 terms, isn't it? Yeah, you have to get the product of square term and the constant term. Here you have 5x squared minus 8x minus 4. So, you have to get the product of these two now, which is 20x squared. Then you have to find the factors of minus 20x squared such that the sum of these two factors should be equal to the x term. Okay, you know these things already. So, the factors are minus 10x plus 2x. Then only you will get the sum of these two as minus 8x. So, that is how you get this step. Okay. Then once you further factorize this, you will get 5x times x minus 2 and plus 2 times x minus 2. Finally, you get x minus 2 and 5x plus 2 as the factors of the given quadratic expression. I hope all of you have done this correctly. So, you will get 2 marks for this, or else you can score even 1 mark for this expression. Okay. Shall we move on to the next question? Right. It is under geometry. See, the AC and BD straight lines intersect at O. AB is parallel to CD, AOB is equal to 100 degrees and AO equals OB. Those are the given data. You are asked to find the value of BDC. So, how can you do that? Now, in such a question, you have to find BDC, no? So, you can go backward. Then, you have to find this angle. You can find an angle equal to that, or you can build up a connection between this angle with another angle. By doing so, you can find the value of BDC as 40 degrees. Here, you can see that BDC angle equals ABO ABD angle. This angle equals this angle, isn't it? Why? What's the reason? They are alternate angles. After that, it is given that OA and OB are equal. So, from that fact, you can take these two angles are equal. What are they? Yes, AOB is an isosceles triangle, no? So, in an isosceles triangles, angles opposite to equal sides are equal. So, by that you can find OAB angle and ABO angle are equal. Then you can find the value of one of them. How? Because you know that the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Since the sum of OAB and ABO angles equals 80 degrees and they are equal in magnitude, one should be 40 degrees, isn't it? So, this is 40 degrees and this is also 40 degrees. Since ABO and ODC are equal, this angle is also 40 degrees. So, using those theorems, you can easily find the value of BDC as 40 degrees. Okay. So, if you have found it, you will get 2 marks, and if you have done it in the figure itself, okay, you can get the total mark. Right. If not, you can obtain 1 mark for this relationship. It means BAO equals ABO equals 40 degrees. Okay. I hope you all understand that. Let's move on to the fifth question. It's under probability. Following square grid represents the outcomes of the random experiment of tossing a fair coin and a fair dice, of which the sides are marked as 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. You are asked to describe the event A marked on the grid and its probability. There are two parts in this question. So, we will see how to do that. Okay, first part you have to describe the event A, and you can easily describe it as it's the event which is obtaining head in the coin and 2 or 3 on the dice. Head in the coin and 2 or 3 in the dice. Okay, that's the event A. Then how many elements are there in the event A? There are 4 elements. There are 4 elements out of total of 12. So, the probability is 4 over 12, or else you can write it as 2 over 6 or 1 over 3. Okay. So, for each part you get 1 mark and total of 2. Right. Now, we are in the 6th question. It says, following is an incomplete pie chart which represents the data on number of students studying the subjects art, music, dancing and drama in a certain class. If the number of students studying dancing is twice that of drama, find the angle at the center of the sector representing the students studying dancing. Again, you have a relationship between the angle at the center of the sector representing drama and dancing. So, using that relationship, you can obtain the answer. If we take x to represent the angle at the center of the sector which represents the number of students who are doing drama, that of dancing is 2x. So, using that we can obtain a simple equation. What's it? X plus 2x equals 150 degrees. Why is that? You know that angles around a vertex is 360 degrees. So, sum of all 4 equals 360 degrees. Sum of this 90 and 120 is 210. So, if you subtract 210 from 360, you get 150. That is the angle here. So, by solving this for x, you can find the value of the angle which represents the students who are doing dancing, which is 100 degrees. Okay, for that again you can get 2 marks, and if you have obtained at least 150 degrees, then you will get 1 mark. Okay. I think you understood this question too, and you got 2 marks. Okay. Then shall we move on to the next question? I think all these are very easy for you. Right. It says in the 7th question, express the expression 2 to the power 0.3 equals y of index form in logarithm form. Okay. Then you will get the answer as log of y to the base 2 equals 0.3. If you feel this difficult, then you can use a similar problem or which is familiar for you. Suppose you have 2 to the power 3, it equals 8. Then if you want to convert this into logarithm form, what you do is log of 8 and this base does not change. So, it is 2 equals 3. This index becomes the answer. Okay. Likewise, you have to convert the given expression into logarithmic form. You have to convert the given expression in the logarithm form. For that you will get 2 marks, directly 2 marks for that. Okay. Because there are no steps for that, directly you have to write the answer. Right. Okay. That is the 7th question. Now, we are in the 8th question. This is under algebra related to straight line graph. Okay. According to the data in the diagram, find the gradient and the equation of the straight line AB. First of all, we have to find the gradient. To find the gradient, we have to have at least 2 points in the given straight line. One point is already given and the coordinates of the other point is not given, but we can find it easily, isn't it? Here at 2, the coordinates are 0 and 2. So, to find the gradient, what you have to do? We have to divide the difference of y coordinates by the corresponding difference of x coordinates. To get the gradient, you have to divide the difference of y coordinates by the corresponding difference of x coordinates. Okay. By doing so, you can obtain the value of m as 1/3. Then what is the intercept here? Here you can easily find the intercept as 2, isn't it? Where the graph cuts the y axis, that is the intercept. Okay. So, we know the gradient, we know the intercept. Now, we have to write the equation of the straight line, which is y equals 1/3 of x plus 2. For this, you will get 1 mark, and for the gradient 1 mark, altogether 2 marks. Right. Now, we are in the 9th question. It says the point B on the horizontal ground is observed at an angle of depression of 30 degrees from the point A of a vertical building. The top of the building is observed at an angle of elevation of 52 degrees from the point C on the ground. Mark these measurements on the diagram. How easy? You know the angle of elevation and the angle of depression. So, we can mark them in the given diagram. So, you have to know very carefully what is the angle of depression. So, you can easily mark the angle of depression in the given diagram, and be careful when you mark the angle of depression. Always you have to measure or you have to mark the angle with the horizontal line, because our eye level is in horizontal line. If you look up, then that is angle of elevation. If you look down, then that is angle of depression. So, here you have to mark 30 degrees as the angle of depression. Then you have to mark angle of elevation. For the angle of depression, you will get 1 mark if you have marked it correctly. Then for the angle of elevation, again you get another 1 mark. So, again for the 9th question, you will get 2 marks, and then finally we will move on to the 10th question. Right. It is again under geometry. It says the center of this circle is O, PRQ equals 50 degrees, find the value of QSR. How easy? Yes, again you can see a relationship between PQ, R, angle, and with the diameter PR. What is it? Yes, you know that PQR angle equals 90 degrees. Why is that? That is the angle in a semicircle. Then QPR equals 40 degrees, is it? Yes, because sum of the interior angles of a triangle equals 180 degrees, no? So, you can easily find the magnitude of QPR equals 40 degrees. Now, you can write the answer for this question. What is it? QSR is? Yeah, QSR equals 40 degrees. Again, what? QPR and QSR are the angles in the same segment. So, they are equal in magnitude. So, you will get the final answer as 40 degrees. So, QSR equals 40 degrees. For that, you get 2 marks, or else if you have marked at least 90 degrees, or if you obtain QPR equals 40 degrees, then for that you can obtain 1 mark. Okay. So, I hope you all understood the first 10 questions very clearly, and now I thought of moving on to part B of first paper. Shall we? Now, we are in part B of paper 1, mathematics paper 1, and here again you have to answer all questions in this paper itself. You are provided the space to write the answers. Okay, I thought of discussing this type of questions for part B. Right, read it. The diagram is of a badge made of a semicircular part of diameter 14 centimeters and a rectangular part ABCD. Further, AF equals ED equals 3 centimeters and DC equals 5 centimeters. Okay, you have to find the arc length of the semicircle, perimeter of the badge, area of the badge. Then in the fourth part, this badge is cut from a rectangular lamina of length 20 centimeters and breadth 12 centimeters. Find the ratio between the area of the remaining part of the lamina after cutting the badge and the area of the semicircle. Okay, we will see the fifth part. It is expected to remove the rectangular part ABCD and replace it with a square of equal area to ABCD. One side of the square is to lie on EF. Draw the rough sketch of the new badge with relevant measurements. Okay, we will do one by one. First part is very easy for you. You have to find the arc length of the semicircle. It is half of a circle, isn't it? So, you can find it clearly and very easily. How? 2 times 22/7, which is 5, and r is 7 because the diameter of the semicircle is 14 centimeters. So, for the radius we have to take half of it and you have to multiply by half. Then by simplifying this, you will get the answer as 22 centimeters for the arc length of the semicircle. Okay. Then for this you will get 2 marks, and in second part we have to find the perimeter of the badge. In finding the perimeter of the badge, we have to find the perimeter of the given closed plane figure. Okay. Right. In finding the perimeter, you have to add all the lengths and also you have a arc length, isn't it? So, you have to add all of them to find the perimeter of this badge. Finally, you get 58 centimeters as the perimeter of the badge. Then quickly I am going to discuss the third question by giving you 1 mark for this part. Okay, we will see what is the third part. You have to find the area of the badge. In finding the area of this badge, you have to find the area of the semicircle and area of the rectangle. We will see area of the semicircle is again half of the area of a circle, isn't it? So, by calculating it, you will get the answer at 77 square centimeters. Then what is the area of the rectangle? It is very easy, which is 20 times 5 because the length is 20. How do you get 20? Here see AD, it is a rectangle, no? So, opposite sides are equal. So, the length of AD should be equal to the length of BC. AD is what? Here it is 3, here it is 14. Since AF and ED are equal, this is also 3 centimeters. Then altogether it is 20. That is how you get the length of BC as 20 centimeters. So, the area of the rectangle is 20 times 5, which is 100 square centimeters. So, for that also you get another 1 mark. By adding these two, you can find the area of the badge, which is 177 square centimeters. Okay, for that also you get another 1 mark, altogether 3 marks for that part. Okay, we will move on to the fourth part of this question. Okay, we have to find the ratio between the area of the remaining part of the lamina after cutting this badge from the rectangular lamina of length 20 centimeters and breadth 12 centimeters with the area of the semicircle. Okay, first of all, let us calculate the area of the lamina, right. They have used 20 times 12. They have used a rectangular lamina of length 20 and breadth 12. So, the area is 240 square centimeters. Then removed area of the badge is 177. So, you have to subtract that area from the area of the lamina, which is 240. So, you will get the answer as 63 square centimeters. Then for that you will get 1 mark. Then you have to find the area of the semicircular part, but you have already calculated that, right? You got the answer as 77 square centimeters, isn't it? So, you can use that value, you can use that answer for here. So, you get the ratio as 63:77. Once you simplify this ratio and express this in the simplest form, you will get 9:11. So, for that also you get 1 mark, and altogether you can score 2 marks for the fourth part of the first question. Okay. Then we are in the fifth part of the first question. Now, in the fifth part, it is expected to remove the rectangular part ABCD and replace it with the square of equal area to ABCD. So, we have to find the length of a side of the square of the new shape. Okay. Then you know that area of the rectangular part is 100 square centimeters, and therefore, area of the square part is also 100 square centimeters. The length of a side is 10 centimeters, because 100 is 10 squared. Accordingly, you can draw the new figure like this, or else you can draw it here starting from E, you can draw the square from here like this. Anyhow, one side of this square should be on EF, that is the condition. Okay. So, with that we have come to the end of the first question, and we will see the marks. Yes, how many marks you got for this? 2 marks. For what? For the diagram and for the measurements. For you get 2 marks for this, and altogether 10 marks for the first question. Okay. I hope all of you understood the first question, and I think it is time to move on to the second question. It is under statistics. In part A, you have to answer several parts. We will see what are they. Following is an incomplete group frequency distribution and an incomplete histogram on marks obtained by 60 students for mathematics. You are given an incomplete group frequency distribution and incomplete histogram. Right. Observe the table and the histogram and complete them. That is the first part. If you observe this table and the histogram very carefully, you can complete both of them very easily. So, we will see how to do that. Now, in the column 30 to 40, class interval is empty with the frequency. We have to find it from the histogram, isn't it? So, if you go to the histogram and see the frequency of 30 to 40 class interval, it is 10. So, you can complete that row of the table as 10, and in 50 to 70 there you have the frequency of 7, but look at the class interval, it has twice the size of the class interval of the smallest, isn't it? So, when you find the frequency in 50 to 70, frequency shown in the histogram should be multiplied by 2. Here you have 7. So, the frequency for 50 to 70 class interval should be 14, twice of the height of the column. Okay? Right. Then by looking at the table, you can complete the histogram. We will see how to do that. Now, see, clearly observe this, and you will get that you have to draw 15 as the frequency to the class interval 40 to 50. So, you have to find where is 15, and you can draw the column for that class interval. Next, you have given the frequency for the 70 to 90 class interval as 10. As I told you earlier, here we have to be careful once you draw the height of the column. Since the frequency is 10 and class size is twice the class size of the least class interval, and the class size is twice the class size of the least class interval. Since in the class interval 70 to 90 you have the frequency 10, once you represent it in the histogram, you have to get half of the frequency. Why is that? Because the class size of this class interval is twice that of the class interval 10 to 20. Okay. So, you can represent the height of the class interval is like this. You have to draw the height of the column as 5, height of the column as 5 in the frequency axis. Understood? Right. So, if you have drawn it clearly and correctly, you will get 2 marks for 2 columns. Then for that part, you can get 3 marks. Okay. Then we are going to discuss the part B of the second question. It says, following is the group frequency distribution representing the marks obtained by the 60 students for science. Further, it says the class interval 20 to 30 represents marks greater than 20 and equal to or less than 30. Remaining class intervals are of the same manner. First, you are asked to complete the column of cumulative frequency. We will see how to do that. You know how to calculate the cumulative frequency. You have to add the previous frequency to the following. Likewise, you can find the cumulative frequency. So, here you are given the first 2 rows as 8 and 15. So, once you add 7 to 8, you will get this 15. Likewise, you will get the rest as 25, 35, 47 is given, 55 and 60. Right, 15 plus 10 gives 25, 25 plus 10 gives 35, 35 plus 12 gives 47, 47 plus 8 gives 55, 55 plus 5 gives 60. Okay. Now, we will see the next part, what it says. For this part, you get 1 mark and we will move on to the next part. Okay. It says to draw the cumulative frequency curve for the above data in a graph paper by using proper scale for the axis, right. Most of the time you are provided a graph paper in the paper itself. So, you can use it for this purpose, right. We will see how to draw that. Okay. First, you have to scale the axis correctly, right. The horizontal axis for marks and the vertical axis for cumulative frequency. Now, you know how to mark these coordinates in this graph. First, you have to clearly scale the 2 axes, horizontal axis for marks and the vertical axis for cumulative frequency. Then we have to mark the ordered pairs. It means here the class intervals and the cumulative frequency. Now, in the class interval you have 2 values, which value we take to represent or to mark the cumulative frequency. Now, in the first class interval you have 20 and 30 as the boundaries. Here is the lower boundary, 20 is the lower boundary and 30 is the upper boundary. In this case, we mark cumulative frequency 8 to the upper boundary. Okay. Always we mark the cumulative frequency for the upper boundary. Likewise, if you mark these points, you will get them like this. And here I have 0 at 20. Why is that? Suppose you have another class interval before 20 to 30 class interval, then the upper boundary is 20. If that class interval is 10 to 20, upper boundary is 20. Then what is the cumulative frequency for that? It's 0, isn't it? Because there are no students in this range. So, it is 0 here, isn't it? So, that is why you have to join this point at 20. Once you join these points, you will get a curve like this. So, this is the very first point, and that is very important. You must mark that point very clearly. Okay, I hope you all understood, and for this we will see how many marks you can score. For the correct axes and points, you can score 1 mark, and for the curve another 1 mark. Then altogether 2 marks for that. Okay. Now, third part, using the cumulative frequency curve drawn, find the median of the marks obtained by students. Right, here to find the median of the marks obtained by students, we have to know the place of the median, isn't it? To find it, we have to divide the total frequency by 2, because median is in the mid, no? So, by dividing this, you will get 30 as the place of the median. It is the place of the median. So, by joining this to the curve, you can find the corresponding mark, isn't it? So, what is the median mark? It is 55. So, the median mark is 55. Okay. So, the median of the marks obtained by students is 55. Right. Then for this, you will get 1 mark for marking it in the graph and 1 mark for the answer. Likewise, you get 2 marks for third part. Right. Next. Fourth part, percentage of students who have obtained more than 75 marks. Now, in the other way, now you are given the marks, you have to find the percentage. In that case, first you have to identify how many students are there, those who score more than 75 marks. Right. If you draw this in the curve, you can observe it. Here, this curve, this straight line, the vertical straight line joined to the curve, and you have to find the corresponding value in the cumulative frequency column, which is 51 here. So, 51 to 60, it is 9. So, the number of students who have obtained more than 75 marks is 9. You have to find the percentage of it. The total is 60 now. Out of 60 students, 9 have scored more than 75 marks. Then the percentage is 15%. So, finally, we got another 2 marks. So, today we discussed some questions in mathematics paper 1, and I hope you all understood them very well, and we are happy to say that we are going to discuss paper 2 very soon. Till then, I wish you all the very best.